Hey guys, welcome back to Wood's Tiny Farm. If you're new here, my name is Marissa, and today I'm going to be sharing about all the products I use in my microgreens business. Now, when I was first starting out, I watched a million YouTube videos, I read a million blog posts, and I took parts and pieces from what everyone said. So now that I figure I'm a somewhat successful microgreens grower, I think I'll just share everything I use so you guys can take any parts and pieces you want from me and apply it to your own business. Okay, let's just start with the growing setup itself. And so these guys are supposed to be in blackout mode, but for the sake of the video, I opened up the blinds to get some light in here. So let me actually just turn these lights on so you guys get a good look. So this is the rack I use, and everything in this video I will be linking below, so if you're interested, go ahead and check that out. I will get commissions on Amazon sales, but everything else I link, I won't. So you guys that order through Amazon, I really appreciate you, and thank you for supporting the tiny farm. So I love these racks. The trays fit really well on here, and I can fit 20 trays on a rack. Now, I could fit 4 more on top there if I were to mount lights on the ceiling, but I don't want to do that. So I just put 20 on each rack, 20 trays. And then these lights have worked really well for me. They're Berro grow lights, and so I have 2 on each shelf. And then they just kind of daisy chain together with these wires, and everything is sent in the package with them. I actually have some extras right up there in that box. And then this digital hygrometer, so I can see, oh, you can't see it very well, so you can see your temperature and humidity. This is really important so you can kind of monitor your growing environment. Right now it's a little chilly in here, 64 degrees. Humidity is okay, but ideally, around 70 is kind of what you want. Okay, and then these trays are from Bootstrap Farmer. You can also buy them from On The Grow. And I just love them. They are super heavy duty. They're the shallow 1020 trays. They're just really heavy duty, and I've been using them for a year and a half now, and I haven't had any of them break. So I highly recommend those. And you want shallow when you're doing microgreens too, so that your dirt doesn't have to be super high, or if you're growing hydroponically like this, you don't have to really reach in to harvest when you're harvesting, because if the tray was this high, it would be kind of hard to get in there. So I love these trays. They're perfect for microgreens. Okay, another thing I use are these mesh grow mats, and so I bought these from On The Grow because I switched from dirt to growing hydroponically, and that way I save all that money on dirt, which it's a huge savings. And when I water, I will use a solution called Ocean Solution, and I just mix, I think it's 1/2 ounce per gallon, and man, I did the math on what I'm saving cost-wise, because I'm not buying dirt, and the cost is huge. So I'll link that also, but that Ocean Solution is working well. My microgreens are growing pretty good. These guys just got uncovered, so they're not tall yet, but they're looking pretty good. Another thing you're gonna want is a light timer, and so this one works great. I've never had any issues with it. I actually have 2 in this room because I have 2 racks set up, and I just have it set for every day. It comes on at a certain time and turns off at a certain time, and you don't have to worry about, oh no, I forgot to turn my lights on or off. It's just all set up automatically. So that is perfect for people that tend to forget, which is me. Another thing I suggest is kind of an overflow rack. So I actually had this little grow rack before I started microgreens, and I would just use it for my seedlings, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. But anyways, I have 2 extra trays down here because every week I grow 22 trays, and so having this setup has been super nice just to have as like a little overflow. And then yeah, starting seeds this spring, I have some extra space. And these lights have worked awesome. They don't get hot either, so they're just sitting right on top of this plastic and they've worked great. Okay, let's start looking at everything I have laid out on the table here. So when I uncover my microgreens, these guys they just got planted today, and so then I cover them and then put a weight on there. But when I uncover them, when I unstack them, I will put these black trays on top as their blackout dome. Now if you need to and you have these trays, you can just flip this top tray over just like that, and that would probably be sufficient. But I had a lot of these before I started growing microgreens, and these just create a darker environment, so I like to use these 10-20 trays for that. And as far as seeds go, I've had a lot of questions about where I buy my seeds. So I buy all of my seeds through True Leaf Market except for my wasabi mustard seeds. I buy those through Johnny's because I've found they are a better quality. The ones I had bought through True Leaf Market, they had like other seeds amongst them, so I wasn't just getting wasabi mustard, I was getting something else growing in there as well, which was really weird. But the wasabi seeds are quite expensive. I paid a couple $100 just for 5 pounds of them. This is my black oil sunflower, and I really encourage you, if you're getting into this, to buy in bulk, because you're going to save a lot of money buying in bulk. Another thing I use for harvest day is this scale, and it works perfectly. You can set it on grams, so I measure my seeds in grams, but then when I harvest in ounces. And then speaking of harvest day, these are the containers that I use. I buy them through Webstaurant online, and they're just deli containers with lids attached to them. So you don't have to buy two separate things, they're already attached. This is a 12-ounce deli container, and this is a 24-ounce deli container. And then so I did a lot of research on these before I actually purchased them, and then I had to figure out which labels were going to fit. So I buy my labels through onlinelabels.com. And so for these 12-ounce containers, these are the labels that fit. And so like that's your label number, but I'll have all this linked below. As you can see, I also buy these in bulk, so I bought 2,000 labels here of these smaller labels, and these fit the 24-ounce containers. And when you do buy these labels, you get a free membership to their design software, which is super easy to use. It's called Maestro Labels, or Maestro Online Labels, and you can just go in there and create your own labels. So when I realized I could do this, I'm like, okay, this is going to be way better than having someone else design it for me. And so I came up with this design here, which I love. I had to get approval to use this seal here, grown in Montana, and then my the grocery store I sell to said that I should actually put on here grown in Hamilton, which is the town that we're in. So they said people like to see that at the store. Then they know it's really local, because apparently they can advertise things as local, but they're like 3 states away. So I think that helps with sales. And I had to purchase these barcodes through the GS1 system, and I can link that below. That was one thing I was really confused about when I first started. But I bought 10 labels, and it cost me, I think up front it cost me $250 to buy the labels, and then every year I have to renew them for just $50. And so once you purchase them and you actually own them, then it's a smaller fee to keep them up. So if you buy the labels on there, you will get, you get access to your barcode, so then you can transfer that over to the design software for your labels and just slap them on each one. And they're all individual UPC codes, so you have to pick 1 item for your code. Another thing I love so much is this sprayer. You guys have seen me use it in a couple of my other videos. It's perfect. You can lock this down so it just continues to spray. And it's just a pump here, but it's super nice. Actually, I'm so glad I invested in that. It's not, I mean, it's not very expensive, but great tool to have when you're misting your microgreen seeds. And here is my date gun. So initially, when I started growing, I was actually printing the date on these labels right here. And that was kind of a pain in the butt because I would have to harvest and then figure out how many labels I needed for each variety and then come back to my computer and add the date on there and print them out. So now I just print them blank and I will use my date gun. So I just have these extra labels here. I got the sell by labels, and I'll show you. Super easy there. Sell by 225.24. And I got this from B&B Supply Company. It was a little on the pricier side. I can't remember the exact price. I want to say around $50 or $60, but I'll find that and link it. Over here, we have these mesh bags. So I measure out my sunflowers and peas beforehand, and these actually need to be soaked. I soak the night before, and so these will just contain all your seeds. You could just put it in a bowl of water, and these guys float, so it's nice to have them contained, and then you can actually like put something else on top of them as a weight to keep them underneath the water. You don't necessarily have to do that with your peas. You can just put peas in a bowl. They don't have to be in a bag, but I love these mesh bags for my sunflowers. Another thing you're gonna want is a good pedestal fan so you can get some good circulation going. So I just have this cheap fan I got. It works perfectly, and a step stool, because you're gonna need to get to your top microgreens there and see what's going on. So just any stool will probably do. I like this one because it's a two-stepper. Another thing I really recommend is a fold-up table. So this thing is lightweight, it's portable. You could stash it away in the garage if you want. And it's got these nice handles on it. It's the brand Lifetime. Just a good thing to have, either for harvesting or sowing your seeds or weighing your seeds. I mean, I use this thing all the time, so definitely a good fold-up table is probably a good thing to have. And you're going to want to invest in a good dehumidifier. I have this GE dehumidifier, which has been awesome. So it has a lot of different settings. You can set it so that it stays within a certain humidity range, which is perfect. So it'll kick on and off and just maintain a certain humidity. That's a really nice feature to have. You just pull this out. Sorry, it's hard to do one-handed here. Just pull that out. It's got a handle, and that's where all the water is collected. So you just dump that in your sink or your tub, and then just plop it right back in. So I highly recommend this. You definitely want to pull the moisture out of the air when your humidity's like 70–80%. That's pretty high, and I've had problems with mold if you ever let it get that high. You just need some of that moisture sucked out and good ventilation. I hope that was informative for you guys. I know I had so many questions when I was first starting out, so if you have any questions for me, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. I really appreciate all you guys for following me and liking my videos and commenting. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe because I'm going to be doing more of these videos. So I will see you on the next one.